Hey everyone, Techne here, and what I'd like to talk about today is kind of a comparison of two of the best budget mice out right now, in my personal opinion, and that is the Razer Viper Mini coming in at $40, and then the SteelSeries Rival 3 coming in at $30. Now I did do detailed reviews on both of these mice, and I'll plug them right at the end of this video so you can check those out right here. We're just going to really kind of do a quick rundown of the key differences within each mouse. So right off the bat there's our first difference. There's a $10 price difference. But I honestly don't think you should make up your mind by $10, like saying, oh, let's just go with this one because it's $10 cheaper. But to some people it might, and your choice might be answered right there. This guy's a little bit cheaper. All right, so number one, straight out the box right here, we want to talk about size, because that is very noticeable, again, just looking at him. But when you put your hand on him, you can clearly tell the difference. The Rival 3 over here is definitely a little bit bigger. You can kind of get that claw, maybe the occasional palm, and bring it into somewhat of a fingertip and still be fine. The hump kind of touches you in the back of the palm there. Really, really fantastic claw mouse here, occasional palm. Now coming over here to the Viper Mini, much smaller than this guy. Again, side by side, it's kind of like, they don't look too different. But let me tell you what, when you get this Viper Mini in your hand, this thing is tiny. Definitely for me, I can kind of bring it into that claw, and it's decent, you know what I mean? But again, it pretty much always throws me into that fingertip, and it's a great fingertip. It is definitely pretty slender here, so it kind of brings your hand in like that. And as my main review, I stated it kind of cramped me up over here after long sessions. But again, definitely a fingertip, so kind of look at it that way. And a lot of people wonder about, hey, what's the size of your hand, this, that, the other. But again, as far as these mice, I mean, they're pretty much right at those grips right there. Claw to palm, and then over here, fingertip to claw. Definitely more fingertip. Next thing you're gonna notice here, that's the biggest difference, is the USB cable on it here. Over on the Rival 3, it is a rubber coated cable. On the Viper Mini, you have their Speed Flex cable, and it doesn't really feel like the original Viper. The original Viper was very nice and loose. This one's actually quite firm right here. As you can kind of see, it's holding its position. Now, yes, so is the Rival 3 quite firm. I don't think either cables are fantastic. Me personally, I like the one on the Rival 3 better, just because cloth ones that are fairly heavy like this, it kind of catch on the end of your mouse pad right there and start making it fray against the cloth. So maybe, I definitely recommend both of them being thrown into a bungee, if not going ahead and a paracord on both of them. Now when we flip both mice over and look at the underside, the Razer Viper does have 100% PTFE feet right here, and they are chunky. They stick out quite a bit. On the Rival 3 over here, they kind of recessed, I don't want to say recessed in, but again, they're almost in line with the mouse frame right there. It's not bad. You don't get any scratchy sound. It slides great, but again, you do notice a slight difference with the Viper Mini. So as far as skates right here, not too much of a difference, but yeah, I would give the Viper Mini the heads up right here. Now, as far as performance here, the Razer Viper Mini is using a 3359 sensor, and then the Rival 3 is using a True Move core. I'm not sure which one that really goes in line with. Both of them go to 8500 DPI, and let me tell you what, both of them are stinking spot on. Again, as I state in every single mouse video I do, it's so hard to tell the difference from sensor to sensor these days. And again, with these two right here being budget mice, they are just as good as, say, a $150 mouse. Spot on. All right, so now let's go to talk about the most important topic here, at least coming in at these budget products, at least for me, and that is gonna be the build here. And when you get both mice in your hand and you feel them, you squeeze them, you shake them, let me tell you what, both of these mice are incredibly, shockingly solid. Both of them, no flexing, no cranking, no creaking, no rattling, no nothing. Both of them are incredibly solid, and they feel fantastic. Speaking about the feel right there, the Viper Mini kind of has that PBT keycap feel coated on, a little bit of texture right there. It feels pretty nice, really nice and solid feel, but again, you do kind of feel that coating on it. Coming over here to the Rival 3, it has a really nice soft touch coating, not mushy by any means, but just that soft matte coating. If you used any of the Arctis, everyone always gets on to me for that one, but if you hadn't used any of their headsets and you felt the little ear cup on the outside right there, that's exactly what this feels like, and it is butter stinking smooth. But both of them feel fantastic. Both of them are plenty grippy. Very nice across the board on both. All right, so now let's go and talk about the buttons on each mouse right here. Start with the Viper Mini. It's using the Razer optical switches on 1 and 2 right up here, and they feel fantastic. Very, very crispy. They're stated for 50 million clicks right there, and they do state that they're quicker than the basic mechanical switch. But honestly, I really can't tell a single difference. Now with your keyboard optical switches, you can tell a big difference. But as far as on the mouse, I don't tell a single difference from any other ones. Coming over here to the Rival 3, using your basic mechanical switch, and they're stated for 60 million clicks. And again, they both feel the exact same and perform the same. Now when we look at them straight on right here, this is where you see some differences straight out the gate. The Viper Mini has this really nice pronounced finger grooves up in the front over there. On the Rival 3, you have finger grooves, but they're so incredibly mild. It's honestly really hard for the camera to even pick them up, but they are there. The weird thing about the Rival 3 is right up here at the top after the hump, you kind of feel it roll up and then bam, drop off, which is quite weird because when I set my hand on it in that palm, I kind of feel like it touching right up here in the middle of my finger and then it swoops down. So at first out the box, it was very weird and took me a little while to get used to. But again, after you started gaming and playing, you really didn't bother you one bit. But again, as far as those grooves up there, you can definitely tell the difference from each of them. Now, as far as the scroll wheels on both of these mice, they are awesome, super recessed in there, which is how I prefer my scroll wheels. I don't know, some people might like them raised up quite a bit. Me personally, I like them pressed right down in between 1 and 2, so I can just roll my finger, bam, right up on them, and it's almost like that third button right in between. Now, a key point on these mice right here are the side buttons. If y'all watched any of my other Viper reviews, I couldn't stand the side buttons on those guys, but on the Viper Mini, these side buttons are absolutely perfect. They're in a great spot. They're incredibly crispy. They feel great. They stick out a perfect amount. Awesome side buttons. Coming over here to the Rival 3, they're nice. You can decipher them. They are big enough, or I'd say long enough, but they are very slender, right? They're slender, they got a sharp edge right on the outside, and if there's one downfall, I would say, as I stated in my review of the Rival 3 right here, that is them. They're not bad, they're not unusable, right? They don't mess me up during game, but again, with that sharp edge, me being kind of a hard presser in the middle of the game, I do feel that little edge kind of digging into my finger right there, and yes, they are quite slender there. So, again, I think the side button win has to go to the Viper Mini for sure. Now, spinning them around to the backside right here, as far as RGB, they're pretty much the same, right? You have a little underglow right on the tail end, and then the logo lights up right there, and they both look fantastic. Plenty of features and vibrancy on both of them right here. The one stinker about the Razer one is you need Synapse open to save your RGB whenever you're gaming. Synapse will save your DPI profiles to the mouse right there if the Synapse is not open, but as far as your RGB, you always need Synapse open. I hope Razer fixes that soon. That's an absolute stinker. Now, as far as the Rival 3, it saves everything to it. Your RGB, your DPI, your profiles, anything. And then you can just close out the software or heck delete it if you want, and it saves right to it. That's awesome. Two fantastic mice here. I highly recommend both of them, hands down. You can't go wrong with either of them. Again, kind of take it as that grip style, right? If you want that dedicated fingertip grip, I think the Viper Mini is going to be your pick all day long. You want that claw to palm, I think the Rival 3 is right there. If you want them just to match your setup, if you got a SteelSeries setup or a Razer setup, again, you're going to be happy with both of them. They are both great. So I really can't pick one here or there. I know it probably sounds like some company butter up. They're both great. I'd recommend both of them. But seriously, that's not what I'm doing here. I think both of these are fantastic and great mice. So I know what some of you are probably thinking, well, hey, Techni, how about the Logitech G3203? This is also a great budget mouse, you know what I mean? And yes, it is also a fantastic one, but I would recommend these two over that one. As much as I like the 203, I still think these are a better option for your buck here. So hey, that's all I really have for this quick comparison right here. Again, if you want to see more details about both of them, I'll throw both of the videos up right here so you can check those out. And again, I recommend both of them. I love both of them. They're both fantastic mice. But please let me know which one you prefer down in the comments and why. But hey, thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video. I hope I was able to help you out, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for the future tech videos. Hey, I hope I catch you in the next one. Bye now.